Hi everyone, it's Eric from ecartman12.blogspot.com and welcome to my full review of Ice Cream Sandwich on the HTC Desire S. Now I'll be splitting this video into 4 segments: Sense 3.6, Ice Cream Sandwich, Bugs, and Advantages. Now, let's start by turning the device on, and let's zoom into the screen so you can get a really nice look at it. Okay. Now let's first cover Sense 3.6. For those of you that don't know, the previous update, as opposed to this one, was Sense 3.0, and along with the Ice Cream Sandwich update, we now have Sense 3.6. It's an incremental upgrade, so this one will be over quick. Now, one of the things you can actually do is add and remove home screens. So you normally have your 7 home screens over here, but now you can position them wherever you want them to go, and you can go to remove, so that will remove the home screen. So you can even be down to, say, 3 screens, or even 2 if you so wish. However, I prefer the 7 screens, so let's just add that one back to where it was. Now, another thing that you get is a few more HTC widgets. So, let's go into the actual widgets, personalize. Now, before I actually get onto the subject of widgets, as you can see, they've sort of changed the sort of layout of this. You now sort of have these organized, so you have personalize, and personalize allows you to personalize your home screen with widgets, apps, and shortcuts. You can slide to display. And display basically has the scenes, skins, wallpaper, lock screen style, and lock screen shortcuts. And then you can go to sound, which basically covers your ringtones, notification sounds, alarm, etc. So I like the way that they've organized these, and you can scroll between these like this if you so wish, or you could just tap on them and it'll go straight to it. Very responsive whilst doing it as well. So let's go into the widgets and show you a few more that they added. They only added like a handful more. And let's go to the clock just to give you an example of that. Now you can see they've added this one. As you know, there's this widget and there's this one. They're just giving us a nice little smaller one, which is pretty nice. And what you can also do is, if I find photo album, they've also given us a new sort of photo album sort of widget over here as well, which you can add as well. So they're giving you some more widgets, and another thing, which I know I'm sort of cheating like this, but they also have given us a sort of like ice cream sandwich widget. So instead of just having the regular Android widgets, if you tap on bookmarks, you can see it's giving you the sort of ice cream sandwich sort of bookmarks widget, where you can tap and hold and rearrange to whatever size you want. So it's good that they've given you this, that they've given you the ice cream sandwich widgets, so you don't have to use the regular Android widgets, which I personally thought were very limited in what they could do, and they didn't look very nice, whereas now you get all the widgets, which is great. As opposed to new widgets with Sense 3.0, with Sense 3.6, sorry, they've also done some changes to the existing widgets. For example, this mail widget right over here, which I just accidentally tapped. You can scroll between your emails here, and now if you tap remove here, it scrunches the paper up, which is very nice. It gives you a nice animation that scrunches it up, and then it just deletes the email. So I like the fact that they've done that. It just looks quite nice, and just some more sort of HTC sense-ness, if that makes sense. It gives you some of that inside here as well whilst you're doing it, which is really quite nice. Now, another thing which I'd like to say is that there's no wallpaper scrolling. If you saw my Sense 3.0 review, you would have heard me say that I liked the wallpaper scrolling, and unfortunately they haven't given it to us in this new update, and we'll still have this animation here, as opposed to just going normal left and right. A bit of a shame, but you can still manage with it, and you can use third-party launchers if you so wish as well. Now, the notification bar, let's cover that. Now, as you can see with the notification bar, what you can also do is, what you could do with Ice Cream Sandwich is you can swipe widgets, swipe your notifications away, and you could do that left or right. I really love they implemented that, so I don't just press clear now, and it clears all the notifications. I can just swipe the ones off I don't want, and they still give you the sort of multitasking tray at the top of your notification bar. If you have more apps, you can just swipe between them. So that's all good, and as you can see, it's now got a sort of black layout as opposed to the white that you normally used to get. If I press quick settings, you can see that this has changed quite a bit. It's the design has sort of changed, and as you can see, you have your toggle to mobile network, Wi-Fi hotspot, Bluetooth, and airplane mode, and you can go to your total memory as well, sort of erase some of the stuff in the memory. And as you can see over here, a bit of a shame, but you can't, there's no sort of Wi-Fi toggle. They've removed that, and now it gives you this sort of Wi-Fi setting. So if I tap onto it, it'll actually take me into the settings for my wireless and networks. I would have liked a regular toggle like this, but they've removed that, unfortunately. Not a deal breaker, because you can also add a toggle to your home screen, but it's still quite annoying that they've removed that. Really, I'm not particularly impressed with that. Now, another thing which they've added, and we're going nearer to the end of the list now, is app menu scrolling, and it's not really much of an ad. You can go now to your frequents and download it, which is something you cannot normally do before. And one of the other things is that you'll notice you can just scroll up and down. It scrolls vertically. Now they should let you make it scroll horizontally, like what you can with Ice Cream Sandwich, left and right. Would have given us a more ICS kind of feel to the overall update, but they didn't. So this is still a part of Sense, sort of 3.0, that you go up and down. It has changed in design slightly, but not much. So that's that right there. And the last but not least, there are bits and bats of other features, but these are the main noticeable ones that you'll be using. Now you can go into Menu and Settings. And let's go into apps. Now what it also allows you to do is enable and disable sort of like the stock sort of applications you got on, or bloatware applications you could call them, that you got inside this device. Now they did add some new bloatware, you could call them, with this new update. For example, Zinky. It's a third-party sort of keyboard, and it's a crappy keyboard, different language. I don't even know why they even included this on here. It's what I would call bloatware. So you can enable and disable it. I disabled it so it won't have any sort of function in the keyboard, so it won't bother me or anything like that. I won't do any accidental times of just tapping on that when I change my keyboard. So a little sort of feature there. I like the fact they let you enable and disable those. So let's go back to the home screen, and that is Sense 3.6. So now let's move on to the next thing, and that is what this update was meant for, and that is Ice Cream Sandwich. What you've all been waiting for and looking forward to, me included. Now, you can see Ice Cream Sandwich right off the bat. You can see at the bottom, you got the little dock at the bottom over here. So they've changed the regular sort of half-oval HTC dock bar, and they've replaced it with this. I miss the HTC dock bar. That's just me. Whenever I think HTC, I always think of this clock, and I always think of that dock bar, and I personally prefer that. Also, one of the things I'm not really too keen on is the fact that the dock icons you got here actually represent the icons you've got on the lock screen. So, say if I wanted to remove the torch from the dock bar over there, the torch is removed from here. You have no control over it. So the icons on the lock screen have to be in the dock bar. Now you can also have folders, as you can see over here. This leads me on to the next feature of Ice Cream Sandwich. They have given us folders. You just drag one icon onto the other, and it basically creates a folder. Now you can add folders onto the dock bar, and you can have access to them like this. And if I turn the phone off, and you can see the folder even shows in here, so on the lock screen. So if I drag it onto the ring, it won't do anything interesting. It'll just open the folder from the dock bar. Not anything I'm particularly interested in. It would have been cooler if they sort of give you access on using the on accessing all the applications to the folder directly from your lock screen, but they didn't give us that, unfortunately. But no point really putting the folders in the lock screen. It's just pointless, to be honest. Now another feature that they've actually given us with Ice Cream Sandwich is one that I was most looking forward to, and that is this. You now have the multitasking UI that you would normally get with Ice Cream Sandwich. So this is great. Now you can just swipe applications off from left and right, and it works very well, and there's no lag or anything to it. There is one downside though. If you have loads and loads of apps sort of like in the memory, it won't be able to fit them all on this sort of taskbar that goes up and down. So when you remove them all and then you tap and hold the home button again, there'll be more apps showing up on this scroll bar. So I would have preferred it if all the apps would just be here at once, rather than me having to remove them all, then them showing up again. But unfortunately, you can't do that. But let's just swipe these off, and it is always satisfying. If you can see now, if I just do tap and hold, there are no apps in the memory. If I pull this down, there is no sort of multitasking or app switching on the top, because there is no more apps in the memory. So now you've got a very fluid experience again. Now another feature that you actually get on here is Face Unlock. Now I'm just going to quickly go into settings and just quickly show you that. I'm not going to show you how it all runs or anything, but if I go into security, screen lock, it gives you Face Unlock now as well. Now with Face Unlock, you can use obviously the front-facing camera on the Desire S. However, the front-facing camera on the Desire S is nothing special, so you're going to have to really be in a well-lit area in order for it to pick up your face. But when it does, so it's not going to work all the time, but when it does work, it works very well. Another little thing from Ice Cream Sandwich is, if you can see, if I press menu, it shows you the little menu bar over here. It's sort of been reskinned, so it does look a lot better this way, and I just prefer it. You know, it gives you that ICS-esque, if that makes sense. It gives you that sort of esque to it, so it basically makes it more of an Ice Cream Sandwich experience over this HTC Sense overlay. Now, another thing you get is new wallpapers. Now, as you can see over here, I've got an ice cream sandwich wallpaper already over here, and they included this with the update. So if I go into display and go into wallpaper, this I got from the Android market, it's nothing really. And if I go into live wallpapers, now you have the regular sort of HTC wallpapers and what you got with the previous version of Android, but now you also get, say, like the new Nexus wallpaper, the updated one for Ice Cream Sandwich. Not only that, you've now got Phase Beam and Bubbles. These two are from Ice Cream Sandwich, and they've actually ported this over to the Desire S, so they've given us the newer wallpapers from Ice Cream Sandwich. I really like the fact that they've given us that. So that's new with Ice Cream Sandwich as well. You also get Google Voice Search. If I tap and hold on the search button, you can see it's reskinned for Ice Cream Sandwich. It's the newer Google search you get with Ice Cream Sandwich. It does add some more usability, like you can tell it to call this specific place and it'll call it for you, but I personally wouldn't really rely on it all the time because it's more of a hit and miss sort of feature on the Desire S. On other mobile phones it's better, but here it's more hit and miss. So, another feature is the new YouTube app, which is, you know, the new YouTube app you got with Ice Cream Sandwich is now on the Desire S, and it does work very well. The downside for this app, I would say, is that it constantly, and I'm saying constantly, shows ads on the videos. So I'm sort of patient. I'm not the type that says, hurry up, I want to see the video. If I do want to quickly see a video and the ad shows up, it gets on my nerves a little, but the majority of the time they let you skip the ad. And as you can see, you can scroll between all of these images and stuff of the new videos and your subscriptions. And if you do go into settings, here's a little tip. And I go into channel feed content, normally there used to be only all activity, but now there's uploads only, so you can switch between the two. I'm not sure if they've updated that in the iOS version, but for Android that's what you can do. And you can obviously swipe this way and gain access to all your subscriptions videos and your very own videos as well. So that's the YouTube app right there, and one more thing is that you can also, as you can see, have a nice animation, which is normally what you got from the iPhone, which has been moved over to sort of Ice Cream Sandwich. So yeah, they've given you that feature as well. It works in the browser, works pretty much everywhere when you change orientation on your phone. And that is many of the features of Ice Cream Sandwich. Those are the most sort of ones that are really like in your face that you'll be noticing every time you use your phone. There are other little nitty-gritty types of changes with Ice Cream Sandwich, but they're not really worth getting into. Now, let's go into the third aspect, which is bugs. Is there any bugs or errors when using this new update? Well, yes, there is quite a few sort of problems. Now, most of them actually rely on the YouTube app. Now, as you can see, if I tap onto it, it's quite fast at loading it now because it's in the memory. But if I remove it from the memory, then tap on it, you can see there's a bit of a lag. Now it's loading. I can't do anything yet because I have to wait for it to load. And if I tap the search bar will just remove, and the keyboard will remove, and because you have to wait for it to load. And as you can see, for some reason it's taking longer right now, but normally it's quicker. But as you can see, it just takes quite a bit of time. I really would like this to be faster. On the phones like the Sony Xperia T, this is actually quite a lot faster. For example, if I just show you right now. Now, I think this is really more down to sort of like hardware rather than the software. I think because this is obviously a 1 GHz processor, whereas this YouTube app works much more better on the dual-core processors, etc. So if I just go onto it right now, there's a little lag. This white thing stays there for quite a bit of time, but not too long, as you can see over here. As you can see, that was quicker, so it's more down to the actual software of, more down to the actual hardware of the Desire S than it is to the actual YouTube application, although this app is still quite graphic intensive. So there's that. Another thing which is a problem is that the YouTube videos actually pause at times when you're watching them. And it doesn't happen with every single video, but most of the videos you actually watch, it does do a pause when you're actually watching them. Now, like I said, this only happens just a few times, not lots of times. It only happens a few times. But when it does, the video is still playing, but the screen sort of freezes, and the video freezes. There's nothing you can do for about 5-6 seconds. Then it continues playing again. That is really quite irritating. Another thing is that this actually came to my attention by a viewer. The problem that this basically is that if you go on to, as you can see there's ads here, you can skip in 5 seconds though. If you actually click on a link, YouTube has stopped, unfortunately. That's what it says. That happens every single time I try to actually load up a link from a YouTube video on this app. It keeps crashing. So that might be down to this actual YouTube app, or might be down to Ice Cream Sandwich on the Desire S. I'm not sure, but I've not experienced this on other devices, so I'm pretty sure it's down to the Ice Cream Sandwich on here. Now that's the problem with the YouTube app. Another problem is Peep. Now many of you, I'm pretty sure, are familiar with the Peep application that you get with the HTC devices. Peep is basically HTC's social feed application, pretty much like the Twitter app and TweetDeck app. Peep is HTC's version, and you can use it on stuff like this, Twitter. You can use it on Twitter, Facebook, etc. And if I can access it by tapping this arrow on the widget over here, and it loads it up. So that is all great. That is great that it actually works. But the downside is I cannot find the Peep shortcut or application. I can't find it anywhere in all of these apps. I can't find it anywhere whatsoever. So I can press search, and I can press search for Peep, and it doesn't find it. Now this is, I'm pretty sure, is a glitch in the Ice Cream Sandwich update or in Sense 3.6. And it is quite irritating because there's times I want to use the Peep app and I can't really have access to it unless I go into the until I go into that widget and tap onto it. And as you can see, it doesn't show up in the multitasking tray either. So you only have access to it by tapping on this particular widget right here, or on the friend stream widget, and I'll take you to it as well. Really, really irritating. I'm really getting annoyed with that because that is one of the big problems with this. It's really irritating me a lot. I would really like it just to load up the Peep application from a shortcut on my home screen, but unfortunately it does not do that. So it's something you have to live with, or just use a third-party application, or possibly even first-party. So that is the bugs, really. I haven't really noticed any other sort of bugs at all. The performance is really snappy, and this leads me on to the advantages of this mobile phone, the advantages aspect. Now, one of the advantages is that the performance is a lot more stable. I don't know about you guys, but on Sense 3.0, for some reason, in the last few weeks we had it, it was actually sort of crashing a lot, and it made the HTC Sense launcher crash, and I don't know why it's crashing a lot. I thought it was just me at first, but someone on YouTube actually said that someone on YouTube actually told me that's happening to him as well. So I don't know what was going on with that update, but looks like it's all resolved with Ice Cream Sandwich. It's much more stable. Here's hoping that this does not start crashing and stuff in the future as well. Another thing which is absolutely amazing, and one of the highlights of this update, is the multitasking. I really love the fact you can sweep up and down on the multitasking when you have a certain amount of applications in the tray, and you can swipe between them, and you can swipe them off the screen, and that pretty much, as you can see, removes all of the applications in the memory, and they're not even showing up in the tray on the notification bar. So that is great. I really do love the implementation of multitasking in this update. Another improvement on this is that more apps are supported. Remember, there were apps for Android version 4.0, but you cannot use them on the previous update on this when you had Gingerbread. Well, now you can use them. Apex Launcher, for example. Apex Launcher works great, and if I want to have a stock Ice Cream Sandwich experience, I would just use this. And as you can see, if I tap here, folders actually are just like how you would get them on Ice Cream Sandwich. It's very responsive, as you can see. And here's another example, Frisbee. That is a game that only works with Android version 4.0 as well. And also, as you can see here, you can swipe between all these screens. You get the animation you get with Ice Cream Sandwich. And this application has just been recently updated. It's given a jelly bean sort of look to the widgets in the app tray. And you still do get this problem that I showed you previously on my Apex Launcher review. And that's if you drag a widget onto the screen, it'll say that basically you're going to have to root your phone. But if you're fine with rooting your phone, then there you go. You've got a sort of Ice Cream Sandwich launcher, which is very customizable. So, that is also great. Nova Launcher also works on this, in case you're interested. And there's many other Android Ice Cream Sandwich apps that work on here. For example, there's the Amazing Spider-Man game, which is supported on this now. I'm not sure how it plays, because I haven't actually tried it, because it takes up a lot of space on the phone, which I don't have right now, because I'm a sort of multimedia buff, and I've really packed this up with a lot of videos. And, yeah, even watching videos on this is absolutely great as well. There's no sort of lag, or any noticeable lag, depending on what the size of the video is. So, yes, everything is really, really working great on this update. Another advantage is battery life. Now, battery life on Sense 3.0, I was always able to get a day to a day and a half. With this, if I use for, say, low use, which is basically like making some phone calls, sending some text messages, tweeting, doing Twitter and Facebook, and checking my emails every now and then that's sort of what I would term sort of low use, then I will get about 2 days of use on a full charge with this. And that is absolutely great. If you're doing low use, you get about 2 days of use, or even 2.5 if you really try pushing it. And also, if you do medium use, you'll get a day and a half easily. If you're a heavy user, you'll get a day or just under a day. It depends how heavy how heavy of a user you are. If you play a lot of games, then yeah, the battery is going to drain a lot faster, like it does with all mobile phones. But if you're really using this for like social media, for multimedia as well, and you should easily get a day of use with this phone. So battery life on this update has been astonishing, for me at least. I've heard some people say the battery life is worse, but let me know what the battery life is like for you. Please drop your comments in the comment section and let me know how you're using your phone and how much battery life you get out of it. So, overall, is this update worth it? Yes, it most certainly is worth it. Now, I got the RUU version of this, of the RUU, the prematurely uploaded one. And one of the other problems that I only got, this is me personally, because I got the prematurely uploaded version. So probably just a problem for me, or anyone who got updated theirs to the premature version. And what it basically does is, I'm in the UK, but you can see the rating says R. And when I get the IMDb app, I change all the settings to UK and everything, but it still shows the US sort of certificates. So that's quite annoying, but I sort of paid the price by updating my phone to a premature update. But to all of those that got the official update, I haven't heard any of those problems at all. So thank you guys very much for watching. This was an absolutely fantastic update, and I'm really glad I got it. Very stable, I've really been enjoying it, and if I get bored of it at times, I just switch to Apex Launcher, or possibly even Nova Launcher as well. So, thank you guys very much for watching. This has been Eric from ecartman12.blogspot.com. Please do stay tuned to my channel and subscribe, as I will be trying to host a live stream for the very first time, hopefully at the beginning of next month. And for all of you that still have questions that I have not answered in this video, please do come onto the live stream, and then you can ask me them there, and I'll answer them for you live. So, get your questions ready if I haven't answered them here. Post them in the comments if you want to know them in advance. So, again, thanks very much for watching. I'll see all of you in the next video.